So what you might have noticed in the time lapses that I do is obviously I use a tripod to take most of the pictures, and I usually use this one here. I know it's been a good one. I've had it for about 4 years, I think, maybe a little less than that. And what I usually do is the little clip on it, this little plate. What I do with this, usually I just leave this on the camera, and it'll just always be attached on it, because this is my pretty much go-to tripod that I always use, and that's only because it's the only one that I got that's kind of goes full size. I got a little one that's pretty good as well, but obviously it doesn't do the height that I want to, so this is my main one. So now the problem with this tripod is now, I guess it's just, I mean, the best thing to say is just it's old now, and I'll take you through some of the things that's wrong with it. So the first one is just this little clip thing. It's been broken, not by me, I should add, you know, just not, it wasn't me. I'm just gonna add that, it wasn't me who broke it, but yeah, this little clip thing's broken. I mean, it still kind of works a little bit, but it does slip a lot. So I've had to keep it together with this little rubber band. That's kind of broken a couple times. Another issue is just in general, the legs they just don't work as smoothly as they used to. They get stuck sometimes. It's not really that much of an issue, but then again, it kind of is. It's one of the things that's it's more annoying than anything. So that's another thing. And also, it's just kind of scratched up and stuff. So this little monopod that comes out, which again, it's cool that this tripod has a monopod, but when it comes out, yeah, as you can see, it's just all scratched and dinged up, you know what I mean? It's just all got marks on it. And then again, yeah, this also doesn't come out that smoothly anymore. So that again is just another issue with it. So I've decided that I wanted to buy another new tripod, just something that's a bit more, I guess I want to buy something that's a little bit more expensive than this one, because I'm hoping that with the added extra cost I spend on it, I'll get something a little bit more durable and reliable. Not that this one hasn't been, it's been great. As you've seen, I've pretty much done everything on YouTube so far with this. So it's not a bad one. I'm just saying I just want something a little bit different, a little better. So I decided to get myself some a little bit more expensive tripods. I mean, I feel like they will be worth it once I'll show you how good they are. Now this one, I feel like I don't need to really explain that much, you know, to anybody who knows about cameras. Manfrotto is a massive company, really good with their tripods, all that kind of stuff. And there's something really cool about these which makes them a little different to the rest. But again, I'll discuss that later on. So yeah, we'll talk about this one later on. This one is actually, it's a really good brand. My camera bag is actually from this brand. Also, I haven't opened this yet. I literally got this 2 days ago, so I was waiting to open this on camera, so I'll do that now. Yep, this is the one. So we've got a Manfrotto tripod and a K&F Concept tripod. Now that was some cool little b-roll footage of some cool tripods. Now the main reason for this video is to work out which one is going to be I guess you can say my main workhorse, you know, the one I'm going to use the most now when I'm outside and I'm inside. So which one's going to be the better one? So, you know, let's start off with the K&F one. Manfrotto one we'll do later. So this K&F tripod actually comes in at a weight of 1.81 kg, which, to be honest, just from the initial feel of it, feels a lot lighter than my old one, the one that I'm using now to hold the camera. It feels a lot lighter, which, to be honest, is a good thing. You want to be carrying as less weight as you can when you're outside. Not really inside, because, you know, you're inside. But yeah, when you're outside, you want to be carrying as little weight as possible. So that's a good thing. It's already off to a good start. Also, in standard mode, it did say online that this tripod ranges from 23 inches to 76, which, you know, this is pretty much a standard mode. You know, you got your 3 legs open, you got top here, you know, it's all right. Also, it's as a tripod, it is pretty sturdy, which is pretty nice, because you want that in a tripod as well. Now, there is a reason why I said standard mode, but we'll get to that in a bit. Just a little bit more about the tripod, I guess. This tripod can apparently take up to 10 kgs of weight, which, to be honest, might even be a bit too much, just because, well, let's be honest, this will be used for your DSLR mainly, not really used for anything else. I mean, maybe your phone. I doubt you'll use anything like a cinematic camera on this, mainly DSLRs, which is, you know, it's all right. And an average weight for a DSLR is around 770 grams, I believe. Now, the one I'm using, the Canon 750D, I believe comes in at a weight of 500 grams. You know what, it's pretty good, it's still light. Now, if you think about it, put your camera on here, maybe some lights, and your mic maybe, and weight-wise, you're doing pretty good considering you've got that 10 kg to play with, which is good. Now, there's a reason I said standard tripod mode. That's because this tripod does a couple things that some tripods do and some tripods don't. And, you know, we're looking at that now. So maybe thinking, what is this little ball section right here? Because obviously you got the head section, you got another common little section here, and obviously you got the legs and stuff, but this is a bit unusual. Well, what you do is you unlock this little thing here, you pull this thing up, which, you know, if you want, you could lock it there and you got some height, but that's not the cool thing. What you do is you turn it sideways, you push that through, and now you've got a horizontal column. Maybe you have like this, put your camera here, you got a top-down view of something, maybe you do reviews or something, maybe you want to look at something from a bird's eye view. It gives you the option. Or you lift this up, lock that in, and now if you're really smooth with it, you now have a nice pull and push motion built into your tripod, which is pretty cool. To be honest, and this is probably one of the reasons I decided to buy this as well. It's a cool little function that I haven't really seen in many of the tripods, at least from what I've seen. So that's one cool little thing about this tripod. Next, a cool little thing that this tripod does is something that my old tripod did, the one that I'm using now to hold the camera. It did this as well, but this one does it in a pretty cool way as well. So what you want to do is you want to unlock this little section here, this column, and then you got this little rubber section. You undo that and pull it off, pull this out, and then what you do is, as you can see on the legs, there's one with a little foam section on it. You usually just to hold, you know, gives you a nice bit of grip as well. Instead of doing that, you turn it and it unlocks. Now it's separate, and then you get the original piece that you took off and you screw that to that, and now you have your own little monopod. How cool is that? Like I said, my original one had that as well, but this one, I think this one might go a little bit higher because obviously the legs do extend to the normal leg range. This has that little column that you saw that pulls out from here, which again, extra height. I know it's cool to have a little monopod if you need one. I mean, you might not need one, but if you do, it's cool to have it in your bag just in case you might need it. Also, while this is a separate piece, this piece, you attach the leg back on, and then you get this piece again, you put it underneath instead now, and then obviously you'd put your little rubber bit back on, but for now we'll leave it off, lock that in, and now you have a camera that can go to ground level. Now that is pretty cool. So when I said originally, it said online that this ranges from 23 inches. I mean, to be honest, it goes to the ground, so it's ground level, which is usually pretty good for macro shots, I guess. I don't really do that, but if you're into that, I guess that is a cool little thing to maybe, it might even sway you to get one of these, because I mean, the fact that it does that built into your tripod, it's pretty cool. Now the head type for this tripod is a ball head, which is pretty good. It's a 28mm ball head. And you know what, by having a ball head like this, it gives you that range of different positions, which if you want to have like an askewed shot, it gives you the option, which is pretty good. Also, it feels pretty sturdy, it feels pretty rugged, even though it has this little stem section, which you might think it looks a bit fragile. From the feel of it, it feels pretty good. It feels sturdy, and I can't really see this breaking, I don't think, hopefully. Now another little cool little quirk, I guess, to this tripod is it's got its own little custom release plate, which, I mean, it's pretty cool, to be honest. I haven't, again, seen many tripods have this kind of thing. Now you may be thinking, is this useful? Well, the K&F design isn't really useful. However, the size of this is useful, just because, let's say this is attached to your camera like this, you can actually access your battery just without taking this off, which is pretty smooth, and it gets you to switch your batteries pretty quickly. Let's say you're on set, you need to do it pretty quickly, you don't have to take this off, save your time, it's pretty good. Next, we're looking to the Manfrotto tripod. Now just from the initial feel of it, it feels like it's a bit heavier than the K&F one, which it shouldn't, because this one comes in at a weight of 1.75 kg, which, again, it's good to have a light one. It just feels a bit heavier. Maybe it's just because I've been lifting that one for a while. That's probably it. But yeah, that's how much this tripod weighs. Also, this one has a weight capacity, oddly enough, it's less than half of the K&F. It's 4 kg. Now, obviously, it is less than the K&F one. However, 4 kg is still pretty good, just because, again, you think about the weight of your camera, your DSLR, maybe some lights and a mic, you're still coming under that 4 kg pretty much. I mean, unless you get some really heavy lights. This is what it is. It can hold 4 kg, which is, like I just said, it's enough for what you're probably going to use it for. Now also, one thing that's a really big, and I think one of the major selling points to getting a Manfrotto like this is the head type. Now the other one, as you saw, was a ball head, which is pretty cool. However, I mean, moving it about, let's say you're trying to get it's like something's moving, your subject is moving in the foreground, and obviously you want to capture it, you want to go up and down, all that kind of stuff. It's a bit more difficult with a ball head, whereas with this one, you want to get some smooth movement. You have that with a fluid head, which is what this is. And a fluid head is basically, I mean, that's basically what it is. In this little circular section right here, this little red section, you can just see, there is a chamber that is basically full of fluid, and it gives you these nice smooth movements, which you probably can get with the K&F one, maybe even the one that I used to use, the one that's holding the camera right now, my old one. You can probably get smooth footage with that as well, but I'm saying with a fluid head, it's so much easier and it's so much nicer to use. I mean, obviously you can't feel it, but just doing this, you can feel that fluid resistance really giving you that smooth motion. Maybe you can probably tell from me just doing this. Now, contrast-wise, comparing this with this is, I want to say it's difficult, but it's really not. Personally, I'm favouring this one a lot more, just because of what it can do and the things that this can do that this can't do. For example, I mean, yeah, this one has a fluid head, which is the biggest selling point, I'd say, this, because, I mean, this is the thing, you're a photographer, you're a videographer, all that kind of stuff. You want smooth footage, and this pretty much is your smooth footage right here. But however, saying that, you know what, I might as well just go through the negatives right now of these tripods, because even though I'm saying these are great tripods, which they are, I'm not gonna lie to you, they are great tripods. It's just, obviously, there are some things that this one has that this doesn't, and vice versa. This one has stuff that this one doesn't. And I'm thinking, you know what, we'll go with the cons of this one first. You know, we started with the K&F one, we might as well start with this one as well for the negatives. So you know, I've said everything good about this, everything it can do, everything that is pretty much unique compared to other tripods that you may have seen. But there are some things which I had a bit of an issue with when I was using it. So first one is, as you can see, when I was moving this about stuff, I'm literally touching it from all the columns, I guess, because this one, as you can see, has no handle, which honestly, when I bought this, and obviously when I opened it and took it out and stuff, I knew something was off about it, but it didn't click with me until I was using it, and I was trying to get a nice smooth up and down shot, and then I was looking for a handle, and I was like, it doesn't have one. So I mean, that's one thing. It doesn't have a handle, which, I mean, maybe you can fit one somewhere, you know, if this part comes off as well, so maybe you can take that off. And I haven't searched or anything, but maybe there might be a third-party company who makes a handle, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's one negative, which I guess it's kind of important. Again, you want smooth footage, you want to have a handle. It's not going to help you that much with this. Also, as you can see with both of these both have leg clips, which are basically these little clip things which gives you the option to have these angles. So obviously you pack up that way, but then if you click it once, you can have something that's really close to the ground, do you know what I mean? And obviously it gives you 3 of them, and there you go. Now these ones on the K&F one, you can probably hear that. As you can hear, it doesn't sound that stable. I think the best word to use is it feels jingly, which kind of scares me a little bit, just because I'm thinking, I mean, what if that snaps off and breaks? It's literally the whole reason, or one of the reasons, that I'm trying to change the tripod I use now. You know, the legs, like I was saying in the beginning, they're not that good anymore. And obviously if this snaps, it might just come up and down a lot, I don't know. But I mean, once you've set it to one of your angles and you pull it up a bit, you know, just to get a bit rigid, it doesn't really do it. So that might not be as big of an issue that I'm thinking it is. But then again, you know, the issue's there, and I'm cautious about it. And also the ball head, obviously just comparing it with the Manfrotto one, you will obviously get, well, not obviously, because obviously you got to calibrate it to your camera weight and all that kind of stuff, but generally you really should get really smooth footage with the Manfrotto one, whereas this one, it's a little, you loosen it a little bit and it becomes a little flimsy, I guess. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's not that much of an issue, because I mean, it's cool that you can do the whole 360 thing and you get some funky angles, like all this kind of stuff. But again, it's one of those things where if you really want to get that smooth footage and that smooth movement and you want to tilt the camera a bit, it's a little more difficult on this one, at least from when I tried it. And next we move on to the Manfrotto one. And with this one, the problems are a little bit different to the K&F one, just because this does some things a lot better than that one, such as, you know, it's got that nice handle, nice and smooth. I've said it a lot of times in this video, but it's true, it's a nice and smooth handle. Also, like we just said with the K&F one, the little leg clips, they're a bit jingly. These ones, these feel nice and sturdy. I can't really see these breaking, and if they do break, it'd be, actually, yeah, saying that, I can't really see these breaking. They're just, because it's so close to the leg, it'd be very hard to break these, I think. And you know, they're very sturdy as well, good sturdy legs. So yeah, the legs, they're good on this one. I will say though, one thing this tripod doesn't have, this specific one, that the K&F does, is this one doesn't have that monopod function. Do you know what I mean? I mean, this is not that much of an issue if you don't use one, but it's nice to have it just in case you might want to use it. And that's one thing I feel like I should bring up in this video. The reason I picked these two specific tripods was just because they were set at very similar price ranges, and I felt like this being, I'd say this is definitely a very high-end luxury brand to go into, but I'd say, man, it is worth it. I would definitely say it's worth it. Whereas K&F one is definitely, it's also worth it for that kind of price range, but also it is a trusted brand as well. They do really good stuff, so it's one of the things you weigh up, which one do you want. Personally, I feel like it comes down to which one do I feel like I can get the most out of when I'm filming here at home, or maybe I'm out somewhere and filming. Which one is most reliable, I guess? Which one can I see myself using day to day and being happy with? And it's either between, yeah, the monopod or the K&F. Now there are some things which I feel like I want to try out with these, just test them out a bit more, see if I can really make my decision on which one I want. Because again, I'm in two minds about both of them because they're both really great. However, I just feel like the one that at the moment is something that I feel like I can use more with what I want to do with my photography, videography, all that kind of stuff, will be the K&F one. That's right. So I'm going to go with K&F just for now. I'm going to see how good it is. Now the handle thing is putting me off a little bit, just because you probably won't even notice it, or maybe you do, but the handle is a massive thing when it comes to a tripod. It's your main control over where your camera is moving, so it's one of the things to think about. But I'm going to test it out for a couple of weeks and I'll see. Maybe, I mean, I don't know if I will, but I might make a video on if I switch back or not. But yeah, for now, we're going to switch the release plate that will stick on the camera the most with the K&F one. Because I mean, let's be honest, if you just take this bit off again, like I said, you remove that central column. Oh, and also, if anybody hasn't played or wants to play in the future that Star Wars Fallen Order game, you might want to skip the next 30 seconds or something, because it might spoil it for you, depending on how much you've seen of the game. So I'll give you a second. So yeah, basically, if any of you have played that Star Wars Fallen Order game, you would know that you can customize your own lightsabers, and I feel like this looks like one. Do you know what I'm saying? because I feel like even the design of this, because I'm pretty sure in the game you can have like this little head bit, there's like a little stem, and the rest of the lightsaber comes in like some little blocks. I mean, it looks like a lightsaber, you know what I'm saying? So if you do go to any like cosplay conventions, or you dress up as cosplay, whatever, I personally don't, but I mean, if you do, this is like a 2-in-1. You've got your tripod, you can take this as a monopod to your convention, but you've also got your little lightsaber, you know what I'm saying? I mean, don't get me wrong, this shouldn't be a selling point for you if you're really serious about buying one of these or a tripod. I mean, unless you really do want to have like a little lightsaber version as well, because it's pretty cool, do you know what I mean? So yeah, again, this isn't my selling point or the reason that I'm picking the K&F one over the Manfrotto one. I'm just saying it's kind of cool to have that as a little feature, I guess, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty cool. But anyway, thank you for that. Rambled on a bit at the end, but you know what, it's fine. Thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully, if you are thinking about getting a new tripod, maybe you might consider one of these, I don't know. Like I was saying, they both have good qualities and a little bit of bad qualities. I think generally you can go about the badness and you can go around that, and you can maybe find a way to fix those problems. Personally, I don't feel like the negatives really matter that much compared to the positives that they do bring. I feel like the positives do outrank the negatives on these tripods. Also, I feel like I did a pretty good job picking two tripods that are pretty similar in price, and they show you what you can pretty much get for that price range, and I do think they are pretty much worth it. I mean, of course, I could have just tried to fix the tripod I got now, maybe change the clip, maybe try and fix the legs somehow, because obviously like I was saying, they kind of don't work that well anymore. But I guess what I wanted to do was try and find a tripod which would help me improve or change how I'm taking photos, how I'm taking videos. I want to try and have the tripod do something for me and maybe alter the way I think about photography or videography, if I can. I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it and it's just a tripod, but we'll see in the future. But thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you liked it, and I hope you did find it pretty useful. You know, I think, like I said before, these are great tripods, and maybe you might think about getting them. If you do, well done. They're pretty cool tripods. But like I said, if you like the video, please give it a like. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Straight up, honestly, it really does. I don't know why, but I remember when I first took it out of the legs when I was doing the B-roll, I really did think it looked like a lightsaber. And I mean, I haven't really watched all the Star Wars. I mean, I watched all the, I think I watched all the Star Wars. But yeah, I'm not saying I'm a super fan or anything, and I'm thinking about lightsabers all the time. But I mean, it really does look like one. You know what I'm saying? It's got that futuristic look to it, which I think is pretty cool. And I mean, also, I'm not gonna lie, I've wanted a Manfrotto for so long, and I've always thought of them as the premium product, and I didn't really think I'd own one for like a long time. So it's cool to have one, but I don't know, just something about this one. I mean, I'll probably still use them both. I probably will.